What kind of super student will you be? Welcome to L.I.F.T tutoring.
Tutoring.
Welcome to another video.
Welcome to another podcast of L.I.F.T tutoring. You'll have to forgive me. I played an intro for my new YouTube videos, and it wasn't as loud as I was expecting it to be. So we're just gonna pretend like that intro did not happen. We'll start with one of these. And I'm not sure if you were able to hear that either, but that's okay. This is why we keep working so we can get better. Welcome to another podcast by L.I.F.T tutoring, Love Instruction Foundation Teaching. I am your host, Jeremy White. I am an educator, specifically have a passion towards kindergarten and kindergarten readiness. I'm an author, Estelle and Gustav, on Amazon in paperback and on Kindle, and I'm also the author of In His Shadow, Growing Up with Reggie White. You can find that, I think, on Amazon as well. There's some used copies. If you have any interest in buying either one of those books from me directly to get a signed copy, please email Estelle and Gustav, Gustoff, Estelle, just like the way you would spell it, Estelle, Estelle and Gustav at gmail.com to request your signed copy of Estelle and Gustav or In His Shadow, Growing Up with Reggie White. Okay, so tomorrow's a big day. I don't know, parents, if you know that tomorrow is a big day. And you might be wondering, what's so good about it, Jeremy? Well, let me tell you. So tomorrow, the new Jurassic Park movie comes out, and you can tell that I'm older because I keep saying Jurassic Park, not Jurassic Park: The Lost World or Jurassic Park 3, or Jurassic Park, Jurassic World. I'm not the Lost World. That's what I meant to say for the second one that came out. I'm not saying any of that. So I'm saying the new Jurassic Park movie, Jurassic World: The Fallen Kingdom, is coming out tomorrow. # not sponsored. And I just wanted to kind of have that relate. I wanted to have that relate to something we can almost all people I've talked to have either come into contact with or been themselves fascinated with dinosaurs. Even though it's typically thought of as something boys are interested in, no, the children are interested in animals, and one of them is dinosaurs, and just the fascination with not being able to see them now because they're extinct, and learning about them, and just the market for the toys, the ones you could buy in the pack from Rest in Peace Toys R Us. You could just buy them in like this cheap pack with the dinosaurs that are different colors, the green, blue, yellow, or you could tell it was just kind of a plastic mold that they slapped some color on. But dinosaurs. Everybody loves dinosaurs. I don't know one person who is not fascinated in even the smallest sense with dinosaurs. And so you might be wondering, Jeremy, how are you going to pull this back into what you're talking about today? All right, dear listener, loyal listener, follow me on here. Follow me with this. When you were younger, you absolutely had a passion. You had a passion that you were interested in. You may not have known what it was you wanted to do when you got older. You may not have even known how what the difference between $1 and 1 cent was. But you had a passion. You had a passion that would start the wheels turning for a possible career in the future. Whether that passion actually led you to it, for a personal story, I was interested in being a veterinarian. Well, very first thing I was interested in doing, my father, Reggie White, he wanted to actually start a Christian theme park, And I told him I would be the ticket taker at that theme park. For those of you waiting, that Christian theme park never happened, but he wanted it to happen, and I told him I'd be the ticket taker. So really, my very first job I ever wanted to do was being a ticket taker at an amusement park. I thought my life just made so much sense when I wanted to do that when I was 5-6 years old. Then it slowly evolved into, I love animals, so I want to be a veterinarian. And then I got to 10th grade in biology and realized, oh, goodness gracious, I'm not good at biology, or at least it didn't come as easy to me. I got a B. So I said, I can't be a veterinarian. And then I went to school for journalism, and I wanted to be a video game magazine writer. And started interning, and I don't know if you've ever had the pleasure of being on a message board of a new video game. Sometimes it can get pretty ruthless. I had to develop thick skin if I wanted to do that. And then lastly, I graduated, went to Japan, and I told you guys the story. Maybe one day I'll dedicate a podcast just to that story, how that happened. But now I'm a teacher, so I love it. Wouldn't trade anything for where I am now. But every child has an interest, and as a parent, there's no one, especially in their early years, because even if you do daycare or not, or whoever your child stays with while you're at work, or if you're a stay-at-home parent, regardless, that's still your baby, right? You know what that child's interested in. You know what they're interested in. You know what makes their eyes sparkle and light up in amazement. And it could be the tiniest thing, but if it's related to that interest, let's say dinosaurs, then you know they're going to eat it up. So as a teacher, I would implore you to foster that curiosity for what they're interested in. And if you know your child wants to see this movie that comes out tomorrow, and I don't know what the rules are in your house. I know with me, it was I couldn't go see rated R movies when I was younger, and if it was rated R, and we thought maybe it was rated R, or my parents thought it was rated R for just maybe one or two things, and wasn't overly blatant, they would go see it first and then approve of it. So if you know that your child's interested in dinosaurs, and we have this Jurassic World, The Fallen Kingdom coming out tomorrow, and you approve of them to go see it, okay? They younger, older, it's your prerogative. It's your house, your rules. But if you do go see it, don't just go see it and then say, did you like it? Because most kids are going to say, yeah, I thought it was cool, or some kids might think it was a little scary. And especially this one, I think there's going to be more nighttime and rainy days, or rainy scenes and things like that. But don't just say, did you like it? That's what I like to call a who, what, when, where question. Who, what, when, where questions stop at the answer. They stop. They absolutely stop. So if you say, who was in the movie? And they might remember, oh, it's that Chris guy, Chris Pratt. My sister loves Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt, if you, on the off chance you're listening to this podcast, just know that my sister would love to meet you. And she has a mug with you on it. She just thinks you're the greatest. But beyond that, a who question, it's Chris Pratt. A where question, it's in the Jurassic World. It's fallen now and all the animals are out. When did it happen? They might say in the morning, in the afternoon, and where, it was outside. Boom. It's over. You have stopped the dialogue with your child. Now, if they're very talkative, like I was, my mother could say, what did you like about the movie? And I could say the dinosaurs. But if I'm talkative, then I'm going further. I like the dinosaurs. I really like the one who was the new Velociraptor that helped Chris Pratt's character out. I can't remember the actual character's name. That helped Chris Pratt's character out, and because he did this, and this. Now I'm going into the whys of why I like it, right? But if you explicitly ask your child, why did you like the movie, or why do you think that in this scene, the dinosaur did this instead of this, or why did you? I remember even my father. We went to go see X-Men. This was 18 years ago. Now, we went to go see X-Men, the very, very first X-Men. And I was a geek about X-Men, so I knew all the different... I watched the 90s cartoons. You know, okay. So I watched all those. So I remember after the movie, he goes, how did Wolverine know that it was Mystique and not the real person, not really Cyclops? And I thought it was a ridiculous question because I'm like, obviously, Dad, it's because he could smell her. And like, that's part of Wolverine's whole superpower. What I didn't realize, and I don't know if he realized he was doing, he was asking me a higher order thinking question. He was asking me not a right there, who, what, when, where question. He was asking me a why and how question. And why and how questions further discussion. And when you further discussion, then you can think more critically about what it is you're discussing. Now, you know, it goes back to some things that I mentioned about video games and reading and things like that. Getting your child engaged in critical thinking and higher order thinking questions really helps them develop a love for learning because they're not necessarily, it's not necessarily a who, what, when, where, right there answer, multiple choice answer, question, boom, tell me what's the right answer so I can get this done. It's, I know your interests. We just saw this movie that you've been wanting to see. Let's talk about it. Let's go home and draw a picture about it. Can you remember some details about the movie? And this practice of being able to remember and comprehend what it is you just saw or read or experienced is a standard of kindergarten. Being able to tell the story of what happened from the beginning, the middle, and end, and understanding, you know, this happened in the beginning, this happened in the middle, this happened in the end. The retell aspect of kindergarten is so important. And if it can be done before kindergarten in a kindergarten readiness program like L.I.F.T tutoring, or if it can be done at home just with their own interest, I would implore you to seek that out and do that and talk with your child about even topics, things that they're interested in, topics they're interested in that even they don't maybe have a firm grasp of. Maybe they don't know about the differences between the dinosaurs and the difference between herbivores and omnivores and carnivores, or why are the Tyrannosaurus's arms so small? You know, how did the Tyrannosaurus get to the top of the food chain? Things like that. Why does the Stegosaurus have all those plates on its back? Why did the rhinoceros have those long horns on the front? Or not rhinoceros, I'm sorry. The Triceratops. Why did the Triceratops have those long horns on the front? And why does his face look like a battering ram or a shield? You know, they know that they're interested in dinosaurs, but they may not know what could continue to have them interested in dinosaurs and how fascinating something like dinosaurs is, because it involves archaeology and biology and, you know, the evolution of things like that, and the evolution of dinosaurs and how the sea dinosaurs versus the land dinosaurs versus how small they were versus how large they were, and that's amazing. And for your child to be interested in something as simple as we would think, as dinosaurs, can create an atmosphere for them to be able to discuss higher order thinking, logical ideas with adults. And, you know, I don't, you know, I understand that, especially for my parents in the past who have had one job that was just, you know, very long, demanding hours, two jobs or with odd hours, or one job with odd hours, something like that. You get home and you're not always ready just to listen to everything that your child wants to tell you. I actually, my kindergarten class, we did the Elf on the Shelf. And if any of them are listening, now's the time to turn off. Spoiler alert. Don't listen to this podcast, children. I don't want to spoil your childhood here. But when I would bring that elf in, and I would put that elf in certain situations, and I created this imagination, this week of imagination where the kids really believed that the elf was doing things. The parents who appreciated me and loved me as their child's teacher, one of the parents who absolutely had a wonderful relationship with, she came in one morning to sign her child in. We're a very small school, so I saw all the parents every morning. She came in and said, "Mr. White, you're wonderful, but me and you are not friends this week because my daughter, all she wants to do is come home and tell me every single aspect of what was going on with Elf on the Shelf." So I get it. You get home after a long day, and you may not be in the have the energy to deal with to listen to your children go on and on and on about their interests. But when you get some time, especially for things such as entertainment value, for things that they're interested in that they get to do, talk to them. Bring that critical thinking, that higher order thinking out of them, and get them to really practice expressing what it is they're interested in, because that will help them express what it is they learn, and that will help them understand new ideas and kind of work it out with through talking. I always say, well, not always say, but it's a louder classroom is a classroom that is learning, within reason, not the children just doing whatever it is they want to do. But when you hear a master teacher's classroom, if that it more than likely will not be silent, and it will be focused. It will be have a purpose. There will be tasks that need to be completed. But a louder classroom is a learning classroom, and the more children get to talk and understand their thinking, the more they can interact with new ideas, and the more they're going to try to make sense of it. Because there's a term we use in education called disequilibrium. Disequilibrium is simply when a child doesn't understand something, they're going to try their darndest to get out of that not understanding it. They're going to try to get back to equilibrium. So if you see Jurassic World, The Fallen Kingdom with your children tomorrow, ask them, why do you think this happened? How do you think that pterodactyl was able to fly? I mean, yes, it had wings, but are the wings heavier than bird wings? Ask questions you don't know the answer to, because I just threw that out there and I don't even know if that makes sense. But ask those questions. Get your child to talk about it, and you will see that when a child goes towards their interest, they are more willing. They're willing to learn because they're not being told, "Hey, learn this, get it done, do it because I said so." It's rather you throw the ball in their court and say, "Tell me what you think." And that's one thing you can do. That's another wonderful thing you can do with your child at home. So I hope this has been helpful for you today. And we've been going for about 20 minutes, so I'm gonna wrap this up. But I appreciate your time, appreciate you listening. And if please like and subscribe. L.I.F.T Tutoring. It's L.I.F.T Tutoring on YouTube. If you type in Jeremy White L.I.F T Tutoring, you can get to my page. Please like and subscribe. And these podcasts actually are also saved on YouTube as well. Spreaker, SpreakerSpreaker.com/L.I.F.T Tutoring if you want to listen to these back again. All right. Well, I hope you guys make it a wonderful day, and I'll catch you in the next podcast and video. All right. Have a wonderful day, and remember to develop a love for lifelong learning and kindergarten readiness. All right. Have a good one. Bye.